Today, we're going to give you the operator's manual for your own mind. We're going to stop treating pressure like it's some big, scary monster and start seeing it for what it is, a system. A system you can understand, a system you can control, and yeah, a system you can master. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you this. You ever been in that moment? High-stakes meeting, a really tough conversation. Maybe you're just staring at a blinking cursor on a deadline, and your mind just goes blank. Poof, you freeze. You can't think straight. Yeah, we've all been there. And the first thing you need to get, I mean really truly get, is that this is not a character flaw. It's not a sign that you're weak or that you can't hack it. If you believe that you just need more willpower, you've been sold a lie. This isn't about just being tougher.
What's actually happening in that moment is a biological hijack. I'm talking about a physical, mechanical process taking over your body. You can't just think your way out of it, any more than you can think your way out of a sneeze. This is your biology literally overriding your brain.
So you want to control the system? First, you've got to understand the machine. Let's pop the hood and take a look at your brain's ancient, hardwired threat response. We're talking about something called the amygdala hijack. So here's the absolute core of the problem. You have this little alarm system in your brain called the amygdala. And when it spots a threat, which could be a nasty email or a looming deadline, it hits the panic button and completely bypasses your rational, logical thinking brain. Your body in that moment genuinely thinks that deadline is a saber-toothed tiger. And this whole cascade happens unbelievably fast. We're talking half a second. Your hormonal axis kicks into gear, you get a massive flood of cortisol and adrenaline, and blood gets rerouted from your organs to your big muscles, prepping you to fight or run, not to write a report. And here's the kicker. Your logic center, your smart brain, literally goes offline.
The consequence of this hijack is, well, it's staggering. Your functional IQ drops by as much as 20 points. Instantly. You literally become less intelligent. So no, you're not imagining it when you can't think clearly. Your brain's processing power has been actively throttled.
And in really intense situations, this biological override can cause some seriously weird effects, like auditory exclusion, where you might literally stop hearing what people are saying, or tachycyclia, where time feels like it's in slow motion or speeding up, and yeah, your fine motor skills can just completely check out, making you super clumsy. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a hardware issue, right? And that means we need hardware solutions. These are the physical emergency controls you can pull to manually override that biological hijack when it kicks in. The first hack is a visual one, and it's amazing. It's called panoramic vision. See, when you're stressed, you get tunnel vision, which screams to your brain that you're being hunted. By intentionally widening your field of view, you send a powerful signal back to your brain that says, hey, we're safe here. It is physically impossible for your body to maintain a high-stress state while you're doing this. And here's exactly how you do it. Try it right now. Just keep your head still and let your eyes soften. Now, without moving your eyeballs, just become aware of the walls to your left and your right. See them in your periphery. Now, expand that awareness up to the ceiling and down to the floor, all at the same time. You're literally forcing your brain's hardware to change modes. Okay, next up is the emergency brake for your nervous system. Forget what you've heard about just taking a deep breath. When panic is setting in, you need something much more powerful. You need the physiological sigh. This is a mechanical reset button that rapidly dumps excess carbon dioxide from your lungs, which sends a direct signal to your heart to slow way down. The secret is a double inhale. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. Then, when you think you're full, you sneak in a second, sharp inhale right at the top. Then, a long, slow, full exhale out through your mouth. Seriously, just one or two of these can yank you right out of a panic state. But what if you don't feel panicked? What if you just feel numb, frozen? That's your body's play dead response. To break out of that, you need a physical jolt. Splashing ice-cold water on your face is an amazing trick. It triggers a deep survival reflex that resets your heart rate. Or even simpler, just move, stand up, do a quick squat, anything to signal to your primitive brain that you are not, in fact, helpless prey. All right, we've got our immediate hardware hacks down. Now it's time to upgrade the software. We're talking about strategic mental models, programming really, borrowed from people in professions where handling pressure is a matter of life and death. This concept right here is a total game changer. Most of us go through our day in what's called condition white, We're distracted, scrolling our phones, totally unprepared. So when a crisis hits, we jump straight to blind panic. The goal? To live and work in condition yellow. This is a state of relaxed alertness. You're not tense, you're not paranoid, you're just aware, and you're ready. Here's the whole system, originally developed for combat situations. White is oblivious. Yellow is relaxed and alert. Orange means you've identified a potential threat and you're focusing on it. Red means it's go time, you're in the fight. And black, that's a total breakdown. By starting from yellow, you can calmly move up to orange and red when you need to, completely avoiding that shocking, system-crashing jump from white straight to black. Next up, a tool from fighter pilots called the OODA loop. It's a framework for making good decisions fast. You observe the situation, you orient yourself to what it all means, you decide what to do, and then you act. Now here's the secret. Most people fail under pressure because they get stuck between observe and orient. They just stare at the problem, totally paralyzed.
And that brings us to this powerful, powerful idea. When the pressure is on, speed beats perfection every single time. Analysis paralysis is the real enemy here. It is so much better to make a good enough decision right now and adjust on the fly than to wait for the perfect plan while the world moves on without you. So we have our emergency hacks and our mental models. That's the short game. But what about the long game? How do we increase our fundamental capacity to handle pressure over time? Well, this takes some deliberate system upgrades.
The key concept here is called stress inoculation training. And you can think of it just like a vaccine for stress. You voluntarily expose your system to small, controlled doses of pressure. What this does is it teaches your nervous system, oh, I recognize this feeling of adrenaline, I don't need to panic. You're effectively hardening your response over time.
And the great news is you can practice this in really simple ways. Taking a cold shower, that's training. It forces you to control your breathing during a physical shock. High-intensity exercise, it trains you to think clearly while your body is screaming at you. Even something as simple as putting a loud timer on while you work can slowly desensitize your brain to that feeling of a deadline.
So let's end with this. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. Pressure isn't something to avoid. Pressure is a privilege. It means you're doing something that matters. The goal is not to create a life free of pressure. The goal is to increase your capacity to handle it, to build a system so strong and become an operator so skilled that you can thrive in situations that would crush other people. So the question isn't how you avoid it, it's how are you going to build your capacity for it.